Jada Pinkett Smith's wildest Will Smith confessions and what really happened after Oscar slap. The actress and Red Table Talk co-host has written a tell-all, Worthy, which hits bookshelves October 17. The no-holds-barred memoir dives deep into her upbringing in Baltimore, her complicated marriage to Will Smith, her friendship with Tupac Shakur, as well as her past struggles with depression. "I just wanted to take the opportunity to share my journey," the 52-year-old told Fox News Digital. "I feel like as women, our journeys are still pretty taboo. I don't think many of us feel safe to share them. So, I wanted to share my journey in hopes it might help somebody through theirs. This was my journey from feeling unworthy to worthy," she added. Here are the top confessions Pinkett Smith told Fox News Digital she made in her book. At the end of 2016, the couple decided to separate in every way except legally. While their 2 children were aware of their decision, the announcement was kept private from the public until now. "It was heartbreaking," Pinkett Smith admitted. "It was very difficult. And I think that's why we really wanted to take our time to uncouple consciously in trying to figure out how we wanted to separate. And in that process, we really wanted to learn a lot about ourselves and one another to the point that we eventually decided that we didn't want to be divorced. We're better than ever," she insisted. "And it's so interesting that sometimes when you go through really, really tough circumstances, and you're able to weather them together, it can bring you closer in a way that you could never imagine. And so, we're in a great place." In the book, Pinkett Smith wrote that she and Smith are adamantly against divorce. "If I knew today what I knew yesterday? I guess we all say that, but we were such novices," she said. "I was such a novice when it came to understanding what marriage was about and what a unity is about. I think I would change the idea of thinking that Will was supposed to fulfill my idealism in a certain manner, that Will was supposed to show up for me in a way that I wasn't willing to show up for myself. And that would be the biggest change because no one can give you or even be additive to something that you don't have." When Smith slapped Chris Rock at the 2022 Oscars, Pinkett Smith said she was confused, along with everybody else. She thought the whole confrontation looked fake. Smith, 55, struck Rock, 58, on stage after the comic poked fun at Pinkett Smith's shaved head. Pinkett Smith has alopecia, which causes hair loss. Smith went on to win the award for Best Actor that night. "Everybody has had their assumptions and rightfully so," Pinkett Smith explained. "There's been a lot of information out there, a lot of false narratives. Some, I have to take responsibility for. But there are a lot of misunderstandings. But at that time, it was about focusing on what was needed in the inner sanctum of my world. It wasn't really about what other people were saying." The actress claimed she was unclear about why Smith was so upset because we had been living separate lives and were there as a family, not as husband and wife. "For every special moment in our lives together, we had been there for each other," she wrote. "I welcomed the gift of this opportunity and the continuation of our bond in that way. After all, we were now at 6 years of not living together as a married couple but still legally married. However, our movement back into therapy and his invitation for me to be at his side for award season told me that we weren't ready to give everything up just yet. We still had an inexplicable connection, an attachment that didn't want to let go. That couldn't let go." Following the slap, Pinkett Smith said Denzel Washington and Bradley Cooper went to the actor and huddled up, trying to ground him. Lupita Nyong'o asked Pinkett Smith if she was all right as Nicole Kidman and her husband Keith Urban hurried over to make sure she was okay. Ramsey Nato, Tiffany Haddish and Queen Latifah also went over to check in on Pinkett Smith. "I can't tell his story of why he did what he did, but I can tell you it had everything to do with Will's own personal battles, which unfolded on a world stage," she wrote. "And what I knew, for the first time in 6 years since our breakup, was that I would stand with him in this storm as his wife, no matter what. I had not felt that way in a long time. I would not abandon him, nor would I fight his fight for him like I had tried to do so many times in the past. This fight was his." Before the Oscar slap, Pinkett Smith claimed Rock asked her out on a date amid rumors that she and Smith were divorcing. "Once he found out I wasn't divorced, we laughed, and he apologized profusely, and life went on," she wrote in the book. Today, Pinkett Smith is absolutely open to a reconciliation between the trio.